Yes, we've searched for the greatest Britons who've ever lived. And it's not an honour that's been bestowed by the Queen or the establishment. It is truly the people's choice. And this list isn't just about who's in, but why they're in. What is it that makes Great Britain?
Fame has nothing to do with greatness. Truly great people have an aspiration for something outside themselves, an aspiration to see what's there on the other side of the mountains, an aspiration to understand how light is reflected from mirrors.
Resilient, inspirational, able to meet the challenge. Those are the people I admire that don't go with the norm.
It's not good enough just to be a politician in a position of power. It's not good enough just to earn a lot of money. What makes you great beyond all those things is to look beyond yourself, to actually change the lives for the better of many other people.
I suppose the perfect great person would be the person who could have #1 records, also be a monarch, be a top politician that is blemish-free. I mean, this is impossible, isn't it? We're talking about the impossible.
Do I think the list is reasonable for the list of 100 Great Britons? I think it's entirely reasonable. Do I think it represents the 100 people who are most significant in the life of these islands over the past 2 millennia? No.
And there are so many people of tremendous achievement, unsung heroes and heroines we haven't even heard of. But I think without a measure of ruthlessness, no one's going to make the cut.
Quite right. Beautiful, striking, red-headed and undeniably ruthless. Elizabeth I, she makes the list. As indeed does the late Princess of Wales, but not her former husband. Yes, it's a night of surprises. Tonight also heralds the start of the Great Britain's Great Debate. In the coming weeks, we'll be arguing the case for who should top the list. But let's begin by having a look at that top 100 Great Britain households. Of all the great post-war politicians, only one comes higher in the list than Enoch Powell. Powell was the Conservative politician credited by many with the invention of Thatcherism. But that's not why he's included. He's in because of a speech he made in 1968 which claimed the Labour government's policy on immigration would end with violence on the streets, the so-called Rivers of Blood speech.
In 15 or 20 years' time, the black man will have the whip hand over the white man. Well, I can already hear the chorus of execration.
The flag of racialism, which has been hoisted in Wolverhampton, is beginning to look like the one that fluttered 25 years ago over Dachau and Belsen. Enoch made a terrible mistake in making the speech about the rivers of blood. Somebody once said about him he had the finest mind in Parliament until he made it up. I knew him over a long period. And he loved India, but he didn't want any Indians in Wolverhampton. I mean, totally illogical.
I dismissed Mr. Powell from the Shadow Cabinet because
When he was kicked out of the cabinet, basically there were 100,000 odd letters of support for him. The National Front at one point in the 70s were actually getting more votes than the Liberal Party.
Immigration! Repatriation!
He became kind of like symbolic of almost the acceptable face of fascism.
That we had the right to say who we like and who we don't.
For me, anyway, at the time, I thought this is a terrible thing he's doing. But when I heard the speech again, or read something of it, he wasn't racist, was he? He didn't say, "Oh, let's keep all the black people out of the country."
Enoch Powell was saying, don't have them immigrate into Britain in millions, huge amounts all at one time, because it will create a cultural catastrophe. and they will not, because they're en masse, ever absorb into the mainstream. And his attitude, which I respected, was if you come to England, be English.
So the elector, let us admit, Judas was paid.
I came here in 1972 as a Ugandan Asian when Powellism was at its height, to a country where there were people who were so influenced by Enoch Powell that they were waiting at the airport, you know, with placards that would be unthinkable today, telling us, you know, to go back where we came from, telling us we were scum, to F off and all this. You know, he had that influence in the society. And I have to say this to you, because it's true and because I wrote it. The day he died, I drank a glass of really expensive wine. Because I don't think the dead are redeemed because they're dead.